In this video, we are going to see broadcast routing algorithms. Yes, what is broadcasting? Broadcasting is nothing but the routing algorithm used to communicate between one to all. Okay, so can you give some examples? If you imagine the examples of broadcasting, it is nothing but television. Here we are not restricting the communication or sending the data only to a particular people. It is common to all. That is nothing but broadcasting. Okay, so broadcasting is nothing but one to all communication. So how we are going to route the packets in broadcasting? That's what we are going to see in today's video. Yes, so as I said, it delivers packets from source to all the other nodes. See, if I have 40 people in the class, if I'm delivering the content to all the 40, then it is called broadcasting. If I'm going to deliver the data only to a particular group, then it is called multicasting. That is the difference between broadcast and multicasting. Okay, so what happens if you are going to route the packets in the form of broadcast? So the source duplication occurs, which is inefficient. What is source duplication? Yes, please see this diagram. If R1 wants to send the packet to all the nodes in the network, then what will happen is it has to duplicate that message to number of nodes it has to send. So how many nodes are there? Totally 4 nodes, R1, R2 and R3 and R4, and R1 is the source. Now R1 should send to all the remaining 3 nodes. That is, then only it can be called as broadcasting. So what happens if R1 wants to send the message called hello? So it has to duplicate this message called hello to 3 copies, since we have 3 destination nodes here. So what happens? So 3 copies are duplicated and all the 3 copies are sent to all the nodes called R2, R3 and R4. But how will I reach R3 and R4 is through R2. So the same message called hello is communicated three times to R2. See this, first time actually the hello message is destined to R3. So it is sent to R2 again to R3. And the second message is directly to R2. And the third is actually it is destined to R4, but it reaches R2 and then it goes to R4. So how many times R2 gets the same message called hello? So it's going to get 3 times the same message. That is why it is called source duplication. Why it is necessary? Why we have to we have to waste the bandwidth for getting the same message 3 times to the same node? This, how can we eliminate this problem, which is inefficient? That's what we are going to see. Okay, so how can we avoid this? Is how can we avoid sending the same packet to that node 3 or 4 times? Is, see, I can send in this diagram you can see that R3 and R4 is connected to R2. So it is always wiser to send only once the message to R2. Let R2 duplicate the message according to the number of nodes it is connected to. So R1 will be sending the message called hello to R2 only once. Now R2 will check to how many nodes it is directly connected. Now it finds that only to 2 nodes it is directly connected. So it will duplicate the hello message 2 times. Okay, 2 copies will be created or duplicated. Then those 2 copies will be sent to R3 and R4. This is called in-network duplication. Source duplication is inefficient since source has to duplicate all the duplicate the n copies if it wants to send n to n destinations, which is inefficient we found. So we went to another type called in-network duplication, in which R1 will not, that is source will not duplicate the copies. In spite of the source, the R2 or the other nodes, according to the number of nodes it is directly connected, it will be duplicating and it will be sending the data, or it will be broadcasting the data to its neighboring nodes. This is how in-network duplication reduces the inefficiency of source duplication. Yeah? Yes. Yes. Uh, Next topic is about flooding. So what happens if the node, if every node starts sending the packet whichever it receives from the previous node of it, and it directs all its packet to its neighboring nodes. Finally, it will be resulted in flooding. What is flooding? See here. See, I have 5 friends. Okay, first I am getting the message from one of my friends. Okay, one of my 5 friends called friend 1. Okay, I am getting the message from friend 1. What I will do, I will forward it to the remaining 4 friends. What those 4 friends will do, the second friend will again forward it to the remaining 4 friends. Third friend will be forwarding it to the remaining 4 friends, and the fourth friend will be forwarding to the remaining 4 friends. This is what happens in the network really. So what will happen if you find the inbox of the 5 friends, the same message he would have received from 4 different friends, which is not necessary. Every node or every friend should get a message only once. Why? Because it is waste, right? Only once a message is received, then that would be fine. What is the use of getting the same message from different people? It is really waste of bandwidth, which will increase the network traffic. So this type of message broadcast, which results in flooding, and it also creates cycles. That is, cycling is nothing but the same messages. Again, what will happen? The source will get the same message which he has sent. Again, he will start broadcasting that message to friend 1, friend 2, friend 3, friend 4. Then friend 2. Again, he will start like this. Finally, after some time, the same message will be found in all the 5 friends inbox so many times. Initially, it was 5 times. Then after some time, if you see, 20 times. Then after some time, 40 times. 40 messages, 40 same messages will be there in the inbox of those 5 friends. This is called cycles or broadcast storm. So how to control this is, there are 2 types of flooding. One is uncontrolled flooding, which I said now, that is which creates the cycles and broadcast storms. So if every node starts sending the copy to all its neighbors, whatever it receives, then it will result in the cycle and broadcast storm. So in order to avoid this uncontrolled flooding, we went to another method called controlled flooding. What happens here is, how can we do this controlled flooding is by 2 methods. One is sequence number method, and the second one is reverse path forwarding. What happens in the sequence number controlled flooding is, so instead of sending the same packet to all the nodes and flooding the nodes, what they suggested is the sequence number flooding controlled flooding suggests is, so every packet which arrives from the source will be having the header in which the sequence number and the source address will be mentioned. So if it goes to the other nodes, see, you can take this example. I'll explain with the, yes, see, a sends the packet called hi. Once again, yes, R1 sends a packet called hi. Okay, so in this, the sequence number, let the sequence number of the packet be 3, and the IP address, source address of R1 is 120.2.1.1. Okay, so this will be there in the header of the packet which is sent from the R1. Now R2 receives this and it checks whether it has already received the packet with the sequence number 3 and the source address 120.2.1.1. If it finds that the same packet has been received, then it will reject. If it finds that it has not received that packet already, then it will accept and it will forward it to its direct neighbors. So by this what happens? We can avoid the flooding and the cycling will not be there. So this is the first method, sequence number controlled flooding. And the second method is RPF, reverse path forwarding. So in RPF what happens is every network will be having the shortest path from the source to all the nodes. Let us assume that to reach R3 we have the shortest path, that is R1 to R2 and R2 to R3, and to reach R4, R1 to R2 and R2 to R4. As I said, if the packet is sent from the source R1, it reaches to R2 and R2 will forward it to R3. Then what happens? R3 will accept only it gets the packet from its shortest path. If at all it gets the packet from R4, it will not accept, because it will accept the packet only if it gets the packet through the shortest path from R1 to R3. Since R1 to R2, R4 to R4 to R3 is not the shortest path, R3 will not accept the packet sent by R4. Similarly, R3 if forwards to R4, R4 also will not accept that packet since it has not received the packet through its shortest path, that is R1 to R2, R2 to R4. This is called reverse path forwarding. Clear? So by these two methods we can avoid flooding. These two methods also can be called as controlled flooding. So with this broadcast routing gets over. In the next video I'll post spamming tree. Thank you. Bye.